So today marks the start of a very exciting project that I've been meaning to do for months. I don't know when it started. I think I've had an issue with this for a while now, if I'm completely honest. I have a lot of trouble finishing series that I really like, which I know is probably like, okay, if you really like a series, why? You have every reason to finish a series if you like it. Why on earth would you keep putting it off and not finish it for years? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Here's the thing, right? Because there have been series, obviously, that I have really enjoyed, that I have finished completely. I think the problem that I have with these, I picked five, because I do have more, but I figured these would be like a solid 5 series that I could finish. And also these are like my priority. A few of them are really old from when I first started my booktube channel. A few of them are really new that I am trying to finish now in an effort to prevent them from becoming like the old ones. I think the difference between the series that I loved that I have managed to finish and these is that these I was given a break in between. So a lot of these I didn't finish them because they were still ongoing at the time when I started them, and then I might have heard a few things, or maybe it was just like me and my own brain being like, what if they're terrible, what if they are disappointing, what if they're not and they're amazing, but then like once you're done, you have nothing else to read. That was the problem. There was like a chance for me to overthink it, and Lord knows that's what I'm best at. I don't know if any of you guys have seen The Good Place, which if you haven't, you definitely should. Funny enough, I haven't seen the 4th season because the 4th season's the last season and I don't want it to be over, so if any of you guys have seen that, you know Cheaty? This bitch right here. I am Cheaty and it's a problem. I just overthink everything, and even though I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna enjoy these, even if I don't completely love them after the series is over, which you'll see what I'm talking about when I mention a series, I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I know that it's fun. Like, they're in my favorite shelf for a reason, which also, that's another thing. I haven't even finished them, but like, I have them in my favorite shelf because I am so convinced that I am going to enjoy them, but I just can't bring myself to actually read them. So now that I'm back on booktube officially, I want to push myself to read these, finish them, and hopefully by making like an actual video project on it, I can be held accountable for my own. All that said and done, I'm gonna talk about the 5 series that I am going to try to finish by the end of the year. Yes, by the end of this year. Is that pushing it? Possibly, but also like, I'm in quarantine, I got nothing better to do. Might as well push myself to read them, you know? It's been years. Oh, it's hot. I turned off my AC. This is one of the oldest series that I have in my collection. Not this particular copy because this is I'll get into it. Daughter of Smoke and Bone is the trilogy. Laini Taylor. Amazing. This is actually my second set of this series that I have. I have the original American copy, and then I got myself the paperback copy because they are beautiful and stunning, and this is a series that I am convinced I am going to absolutely love, and that is going to be a favorite even if I haven't finished them. The thing is, the first time that I read The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I remember I really liked it, but I didn't love it. But then when I reread this because I wanted to continue the series, something just clicked for me, and this became like one of my favorite series, even though I haven't finished it. I know. On the reread of the first one in particular, like, you realize so many things that I had like issues with on my first reread, on my first read, when I reread it, it was like, oh, that's why that was. And then that's when I realized that like Laini Taylor is a genius and she's a beautiful writer, and I love it. And this I've read a couple of times because every time I reread it to like move on in this one. I love it. It's so good. Might be the first one that I start out with just because I have such high hopes for this and it's time. So I'm gonna move on to the Six of Crows duology. I have also not finished the original Grisha trilogy. That one, however, is because I just didn't enjoy it as much as I did Six of Crows, to the point where like I was going to read Grisha trilogy in order to get to Six of Crows, but then I was like, nah, not really, and then I jumped into Six of Crows and I loved Six of Crows. This one, I know exactly why I didn't read it. I think at the time I was just having a really difficult time concentrating on like actual physical copies of books. Like I just could not read this. However, okay, here's the thing. I don't like Audible, but I have been paying for an Audible subscription for the past few months just so I could get my hands on all of the Leigh Bardugo books, just because I want to read the Grisha trilogy and I want to finish this off. But now that I'm actually thinking about it, I'm conflicted because I know that I would enjoy these two a lot more than the Grisha trilogy. But should I read the Grisha trilogy first? I already know that there's like spoilers here for the Grisha trilogy. I'm pretty sure I've been spoiled for a lot of stuff on the Grisha trilogy, just first of all, just from being on the internet for so long, but also the spoilers that were in here, it's been a while since I read them, so I don't really remember. Now I think it's a good time for me to try to read the Grisha trilogy first, but if honestly it's not going to be as great, I'd rather just jump into this. But then also, the TV series is coming. Not anytime soon, I don't think, but it's still coming. Just to have like a better understanding of everything, especially because I'm pretty sure that the TV series is going to revolve more around the Grisha trilogy, and then these are going to jump in later. So like, ow. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you suggest? What do you recommend? I do have one series in here that is relatively new, and the reason that I'm including it in this is because I can see it going the way of these other series. Anyway, the series I'm talking about is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I love this a lot. I've read this one a lot. I have copies of both of these on my phone, both of these audiobooks, and I'm like halfway through both of them. I was listening to this one a little bit before the quarantine, I think, like right after I got back from Mexico, because I really wanted to get to The Queen of Nothing, which is the third and final book in this trilogy. And then obviously the quarantine happened, and then, you know, I kind of forgot about it being on my phone, I'm gonna be honest. I love this. I love this a lot. I'm so excited about it. I am worried that the books are so short. I feel like these books are really short, and that scares me a little bit because I'm like, is it gonna get wrapped up properly? I think it's just because I'm so used to YA fantasies kind of like getting progressively bigger and bigger and bigger as like more books come along, and at this one I feel like it's like getting shorter almost. I feel like The Cruel Prince is the largest of these. I will say though, I have not heard bad things about it. Well, to be fair, I have been kind of like trying to stay clear as much as I can from any spoilers of this, especially because it is pretty new. Although I am worried about the size, I haven't heard bad things about the ending. Also, because it is shorter, I feel like I can kind of fly through this on a weekend. Maybe it'll be like a weekend vlog kind of thing. That might be fun actually. And then last but not least, oh boy, where do I start? Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas and A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. For this one, I have read the first two books and half of the novella book. And then for this one, I've read the first two books and not the third one. Disregarding like the new trilogy that's coming out that's kind of a continuation from this, but I think from different characters, right? Or something like that. These two I have not finished. Like I said, for different reasons, but they kind of like lead into each other. Let's start with Throne of Glass. So, one of my favorite series when I first started book 2. It was so much fun. To this day, I still maintain that Sarah J Maas writes really engaging stories that just kind of like, they keep you so interested, and I'm just, at least for me, I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of differing opinions about her writing, but for me, even though I do have issues with it, it's incredibly like addictive. For me, I enjoy that aspect of it where I just get really invested in the characters. I want to know what happens, and it's just, it keeps me engrossed, it keeps me entertained, and I really, really like that. The problem that I have with this series, oh, my bad, no, not Siri. At the time when I was reading it, the books were still coming out. So books would come out, I didn't read them right away, and then I would hear things from people, and the things that I heard from people really worried me because it's an issue that I noticed as I've read the first two books in this, and then I've heard what other people have said about the series, which take note of that as well. Like, I am basing a lot of these opinions prematurely based on what I've heard from other reviewers and other people that I trust. So take that with a grain of salt. As I was saying, this is something that I noticed, especially when I got into this series, and I think my main concern with Sarah J Maas and her characters is that I feel like she has a tendency to get bored with her characters, which wouldn't be that much of an issue if she didn't almost kind of villainize her characters as soon as she was done with them. And that's what worries me. I feel like it happened from the beginning with, oh my god, the prince, what's his name? I'm blanking out, it's been a while, but you know the prince. In the beginning he was kind of set up to be Selena's love interest, and then that didn't happen, and then the second book, Kale came in as the love interest, who honestly was my preferred ship. I really, really like him. But then he didn't really serve as an interest, and then it got moved on. And then honestly, I expected another love interest to pop up eventually, but I guess it didn't. A similar thing happened with this, where we were introduced to a certain love interest, we're rooting for them, and then another book comes out where it's like, oh no, that person turns out was trash all along. Like I said, I have conflicting feelings about it. For this, at least now, I'm still a little like annoyed by it, but I appreciate Brysand a lot more than Tamlin now that I've reread this one, so like I accept it. For this one, it's so many more books. There's so much more stuff going on, and I don't know, like I have conflicting feelings about this, conflicting emotions about this. But I do think that I need to read it. I'm gonna read it. I need to know what happens, and I need to form my own opinions about it. So, long story short, I'm gonna finish off both of these series. I'm excited to reread the first book again. The first copy that I ever got for this series, I got online. I think I got it on eBay as a used copy, and it came just like this. And then I got it signed, and Sarah was super lovely, I will say that. And then she was like, oh, it looks like a witch's book, and it's so cool. Anyway, I had a good experience meeting her. I don't know, I have conflicting emotions. So, is that it? Yes, that is it. Those are the 5, I keep doing this, those are the 5 series that I want to try and finish before the end of the year, because we're in quarantine, might as well. Ooh, before I go, I do want to say, for this project, I want to do a vlogging situation as I make my way through each of these books, as well as like a final wrap up for the series. I want to know, are you guys more interested in seeing like individual vlogs for each of the books, or you want to see more like vlogs for the series? Really curious, because right now I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I mean, for like this series for sure, definitely gonna end up doing multiple videos anyway because the series is so long. But for the other ones, like, would you rather I do, when I reread this, a video for this, and then moving on, a video for that, you know? Or should I just kind of like keep it by series? Let me know what you think. Also, tell me which one you think I should start out with first. Please tell me that some of you guys do this too, and that I'm not completely by myself alone in this. Something that I do with a lot of stuff in my life, not just books. Like, I do really need to finish The Good Place. That's a series that I really, really want to finish. You know, it took me like a year and a half to finish off Parks and Rec, just because I didn't want it to be over. And then when I finished it, it was great and I loved it, and obviously I ended up rewatching it like 20 times over. Okay, this is getting really long-winded now. That is going to be it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and again, let me know which series you think I should start out with first. There's a lot of books, but I'm excited. That's it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys! That's a lot of books. 2, 4, 19 books. I got this.